artist today is one of those artists where your reputation will follow you. What you do now will follow you. Certain things that you do in this life will follow you, whether you like it or not. And it played into her artwork. This artist wanted to become a very famous artist, and what she did was she went to college. This was at a time when, again, females weren't necessarily accepted. They were, but most people thought, oh, you're just going to be a teacher, not really a professional artist. This is right around the 1920s. This artist very, very much looked at Mary Cassatt. She is actually our second female artist. What she did was she worked her way up. She tried to make connections, and she made a connection with this famous artist, also gallery owner at the time. His name was Stieglitz. And what happened was he kind of got her a show, a few shows. Well, they, in a way, had a personal relationship with each other. Not necessarily marrying each other, but they had a personal relationship where they lived with each other. He decided that one of his new series or art pieces was going to be photographing her in the nude. What happened is she posed for him for hours and hours, and he took a lot of photos, zoomed in close-ups, very, very beautiful photos, but this got a lot of publicity at the time, that this artist was photographing this artist naked. That was kind of a big, radical idea at that time. And so this show came out, and everyone was kind of in shock. You know, it was a big deal at that time when it came out. What she did next was she started a new series of paintings. And I'm going to show you them here. Back, that's a later one, but she started these kind of series. At your table, again, I'm getting to a point where I might start quizzing because most people aren't doing this, but I'm having faith in you guys. I want you to discuss at your table. What is more important in her work? Is it the color? Or, I'm going to throw this word at you, the composition, or how everything is arranged within the art piece. Is it color or composition? Talk at your tables. What's more important?
Mr. Van, if it stops recording, what do I do?
It shouldn't. You should be okay.
But if it does,
I'll just record it next time. Okay, raise your hand. Who thinks it's more important to have color than the composition? Color. Few people. Okay. How about composition? Raise your hand. I think that's more important. So about 50-50. 50-50. Let me ask you, if we were to not use this composition, and say it was a zebra and use the exact same colors, would we still recognize it as her work?
no.
Maybe not. If we were to take this and turn it black and white, without the color, do you think we might still recognize it as her work?
Yes.
Probably a little bit more. So it's more so the overall design than necessarily the colors. When we look at her pieces, what she was actually looking at, she was abstracting. She was looking at flowers. You see the flowers up blue? Very, very much zoomed in.
Oh, yeah.
Almost like an orchid. Again, flowers, the petals, all folded. Now, here's where we get to a certain subject matter that I want you to be mature about. Her reputation followed her, such as posing nude. When people saw this, they thought that, even though she insisted they were flowers, they thought that it was more so a certain female body part that she was painting. Okay? If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can ask someone after I get done. But they thought it was a certain female body part. And I only tell you this because in almost every book that is written about her, it is talked about that way. Even though she insisted they were flowers, very, very much they almost in a way mimicked a female body part. And so that's what kind of this thing was. There was this controversy over what she was painting, and that's how she became famous. She also, later in her life, moved out to the desert. If you ever see skull drawings, she does absolutely beautiful skull drawings. We do a skull drawing in drawing class. But absolutely beautiful skull drawings that you would find in the desert with this kind of colorful background, them just kind of floating on this colorful background. If you ever see any of those, it is this artist. Her name, GeorgiaO'Keefe. 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 Now there is a fun way that we like to remember this artist. We'll get to that. Style, abstract, abstract. She is abstracting away from flowers. So she is looking at flowers, but they don't necessarily look like flowers. Not that we really see. But she's pulling from them. She's making a little bit of things a little bit differently. The composition, that's what she was mostly concerned about. Abstract. What I'd like you to remember about her. She painted flowers that mimicked the female body. Mimicked. Or looked like the female body parts. Painted flowers that mimicked female body parts. Or looked like female body parts. GeorgiaO'Keefe.
What was the time?
Time period, 1920s. Now, the way we remember this artist. Actually, let me see if I have a clip. See if it's this one. It's at the end here. This is the bus trip to the Des Moines Art Center. You learned this one this week, I think. Except you won't do a certain part. We gotta stop at a certain part. Here at the end, I think it's coming up. Wait for it. You'll learn these. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. How we do O'Keefe. We think about this. I can get back to it. We see this as an O, but we're like cheering, okay? Cheering. It's like a cheer. So what are you gonna do? Everyone's gonna do this with me. You're gonna put your hand in the air and you're gonna circle it. Okay? It's like you're at a game.
Towel. Like towel.
Towels, yep. You're circling that towel. And you go, O'Keefe! Alright? Now, here's what you're going to do. You're going to build up to it. So as long as I'm going like this in the air, you got to get higher and higher until I pull my hand down and then everyone goes, O'Keefe! Alright, we're going to try this. So when I go like this, O'Keefe! Or we do a short one. You got to watch my hand. O'Keefe! See the difference? So, you got to slowly build up to it. O'Keefe! Alright? So everyone's going to build up to that. Everyone put their hand in the air. Ready? Everyone's got it? O'Keefe! Very good. Let's do it again. Ready? O'Keefe! You can even do that at a volleyball game or a basketball game. It's kind of fun. Anyway, this is GeorgiaO'Keefe. Any questions? No? Good to go.
What's her style?
Style. Abstract. Abstract. Alright. The rest of the time, I'm going to allow you guys today, the rest of the time to work. I want